Abhinav, the survey that you all did threw up, but before we get to the women part of it, will you give us an overview? Because you did this India Protection Quotient is what you launched. And we figured at a 35 score out of 100, which basically means that when it comes to protecting ourselves from an eventuality of disability or death or a serious health condition, we are abysmally poor. That's what throws up your survey.
Yeah, the survey we conducted across 15 urban centers, 6 metros and 9 tier 1 cities, and it's a large survey of more than 4,500 respondents. What we have tried to do is arrive at one number which gives the state of protection for our people. And this India Protection Quotient covers how people believe themselves to be, what is their feeling at a feeling level, how protected they feel. In terms of awareness and ownership of life insurance products, because life insurance is one product which offers financial protection as compared to any other product. And we found that India is at 35, if 0 is completely unprotected and 100 is fully protected, India is at 35. Just about the passing marks, we would say, but not sufficient. And women, if we compare women and men, women are at 33, men are at 36. Not surprising, at least for me, that women have a lower score because...
Why do you say that?
Women don't generally think of protection as their responsibility because they don't even think of it. Many a times they feel that it's the man of the family, and I'm not using specifically the word breadwinner because women today are the
breadwinners as well.
They contribute equally, and many times they contribute more than the men, and still they don't believe them to be the breadwinner. When we looked at where their savings are getting into, the money which they earn, where is it getting spent? And we found that as compared to men, women are more focused on day-to-day affairs. The retirement is completely, they have almost abdicated the responsibility to men, which should not be. That right from the childhood, what they see, their fathers take financial decisions. It's
either the father taking the decisions or then the spouse.
And then they give it to the spouse.
And I think you'll agree, Abhinav, that women are way more smarter with money than men are.
Yes.
Because if men were smart, we wouldn't be in a situation in our country today where the penetration of things like insurance or equity investing is so poor, which means they've done a horrible job.
So maybe this is a message for us also as life insurers or the BFSI industry.
Yeah.
Start approaching more women.
Absolutely. Anubha, he made the point about the cultural aspect, and that's very true, isn't it?
Absolutely.
That, when you are younger, when you're not married, it's your father taking decisions for you. Once you're married, it's handed over to your husband. And therefore, despite being a breadwinner, despite being smart, you are probably going with the motion of saying, oh, this is not what I need to do. Because the survey puts up an interesting trend. It says 42% of the women respondents said that their money is going into spending and the basics, as against 38% for men, right, of their income is going into it.
Yeah. I think Abhinav made a really great point. I think if there is one aspect of the entire financial landscape where gender stereotypes are most entrenched, it is this aspect. Often the narrative from women is, I don't understand numbers, I don't know how to do this isn't my responsibility. And all of those narratives are also entrenched from a social aspect to it, right? I would consider myself sort of to be financially aware, but I remember many, many years ago, it was my father who made me do the first investment, and then I would later hand it over to other male members of my family. So you're right. There is an entire social construct that tells you that, hey, earn, take care of the family, take care of the expenses, think about the cash flows. But when it comes to insurance, when it comes to a financial future, when it comes to even decisions of where the money should go, whether it should go in a property or whether it should not go in a property, those are conversations where you'll normally find the women of the family not being excluded. And the social construct is an extremely important part of it, and which leads me also to believe that even when women are high net worth individuals, you'll find them making decisions about spending, etc., but not necessarily making decisions about insurance, about an insurance cover, about which policy to go for. You actually just leave it to the male members of the family. I'm not sure if it's changing fundamentally, but I think there's some awareness about it for sure.
Very important points being made there. I want to get back to the survey, Abhinav, again. And, again, it says, when it comes to women, it says 59% of women in urban India own a life insurance policy. However, only 19% own a term cover. So let's get into that aspect, because I think typically when it comes to insurance, and this survey shows as well, that we do have a policy. But term insurance, which is the cheapest and gives you the highest cover, only thing is it doesn't give you any money back, seems to be completely lagging. And there seems to be a huge difference, 59% versus 19%. How important is it for a family, and again the role of a woman there, to see I must have a term cover?
So before we start talking about women owning term plan, if you look at all India level also, only 21% urban.
Yeah, not much of a difference.
Not much of a difference. So whereas 68% of men own life insurance. So that means that endowment plans might be what they have gone in for. Whereas when we start looking at the financial planning, we talk about that the first thing a person should do is, which is the base of a financial planning, protect against the risks. Because if everything goes fine, we all will be able to meet our financial obligations. But if there is a disruption, what will happen? Whereas most of the time people start with a savings product, whether it's a SIP in mutual fund or a life insurance plan or even an FD, and they don't think of protecting. And protection includes both life insurance, health insurance, which is very, very important. That should be the starting point. Coming to the women, generally it is believed husband's life are more important than wife's life, which is not true. If there was, yesterday only we were talking about a government study that showed that the cost of replacing a woman in a household whom we believe to be not earning is 45,000 rupees. So that means if the homemaker is not there, that household will need 45,000 rupees. I'm talking about the urban middle class. This is the kind of a money. And they're not protected because it is believed that they don't earn anything. But it is not, life insurance is not about earning replacement. It is about replacing the value of the person. And women have value. In fact, the working women and homemakers, there's no difference. They're also at 19%. And a household, especially if we start talking of a working woman, they contribute equally. It is not that the money they earn is just an additional amount. The whole household is planned around both the members, both the earning members of the family.